Hi, Mama T, and I'm going further and further into the land of mushrooms. Today I'm talking about Maitake, which used to be called the dancing mushroom because it used to be so expensive it actually was worth its weight in silver. So when somebody actually found it on their own for free, they would start dancing with joy because they found it. This also has this amazing Japanese folklore where they believed that it only grew at the roots of trees that had been struck by lightning, and that is why it gave you vigor and vitality. I love this mushroom because it is so nutrient dense. It has so many vitamins and minerals in it. It is super nourishing for your body and a great blood builder. This is such an incredible immunomodulator and immunostimulant. What this does is it activates your T cells, much like some of the other mushrooms that we talked about. And when your T cells are activated, it leaves room for your macrophages. Now, if you don't speak science, I will explain this to you. Your macrophages are like your bouncer. So this bouncer goes through and it finds unwanted bacteria and viruses and it says, yeah, you're not on the list, so I'm giving you the boot. And that's exactly what it does. Now, when you have this happening in your body, it is literally removing this stuff before it can kind of get going and make you feel really yucky and sick. So therefore, this is one of your best preventative medicines. Not only that, but this has so much research being done in terms of cancer treatment. This actually inhibits the energy production in cancer cells. So what this means is that if there is cancer within you and it is trying to grow, it has zero energy to do that. So therefore, it's stopped in its tracks. As it's stopped in its tracks, what Maitake also does is it promotes apoptosis, which is a hilarious word that actually means programmed cell death. And when you have programmed cell death, it actually kills the cells that are in that cancer. So therefore, it's stopped in its tracks where it cannot keep going and it's breaking down and dying. So this is one of your greatest preventative medicines, and it especially has an affinity towards breast cancer. Not only that, but it actually helps in use with chemotherapy and radiation. It enhances their effectiveness while maintaining and protecting your immune system, which often gets terribly suppressed when you are undergoing chemo and radiation. This is also famous for working on lowering your bad cholesterol, as well as being extremely regulatory for blood sugars and against diabetes type 2. This actually decreases insulin and raises your glycogen levels in your liver. Now again, if you don't speak science, what this basically means is that Maitake goes in there and it looks at your insulin levels and it deals with it accordingly. So this is really, really wonderful if you're working against diabetes type 2, which if you live in America and you have reached middle age, you are working on preventing diabetes type 2. That's just the matter of it. That's statistically, that's where you're at. So if that's something that you are working on, Maitake is one of the greatest things you could possibly take, and I highly recommend mixing it with cinnamon, which I talked about in a previous episode. And when you put the two together, that is one of your greatest things for decreasing insulin resistance. I really like the flavor of Maitake, and I find it at just about every grocery store or health food store. I really like to put it in pastas and stir fries and soups and chocolate. I have, of course, had it in blends and capsules and tinctures and all kinds of things. This is a very, very versatile plant. I hope that you're able to add it to your diet or add it to your wonderful array of herbs and mushrooms that you may be taking daily as vitamins. May this plant offer you health and happiness. Talk to you next week.